Black Beauty, Chapter 17, John Manley's Talk. The rest of our journey was very easy, and a little after sunset we reached the house of my master's friend. We were taken into a clean, snug stable, where was a kind coachman who made us very comfortable. He seemed to think a great deal of James when he heard about the fire. "There's one thing quite clear, young man," he said. "Your horses know whom they can trust. It is one of the hardest things in the world to get horses out of a stable when there is either fire or flood. I don't know why they won't come out, but they won't. Not 1 in 20. We stopped 2 or 3 days at this place and then returned home. All went well on the journey. We were glad to be in our own stable again, and John was equally glad to see us. Before James and he left us for the night, James said, "I wonder who is coming in my place." "Little Joe Green at the lodge," said John. "Little Joe Green? Why, he's a child." "He's 14 and a half, said John. "But he's such a little chap." "Yes, he is, but he is quick, willing, and kind-hearted too, and wishes very much to come, and his father would like it. And I know the master would like to give him the chance. He said, if I thought he would not do, he would look out for a bigger boy. But I said I was quite agreeable to try him for 6 weeks. 6 weeks, says James. Why, it will be 6 months before he can be of much use. It will make you a great deal of work, John. Well, said John with a laugh, work and I are very good friends. I never was afraid of work yet. You are a very good man, said James. I wish I may ever be like you. I don't often speak of myself, said John, but as you are going away from us into the world to shift for yourself, I'll just tell you how I look on these things. I was just as old as Joseph when my father and mother died of the fever, within 10 days of each other, and left me and my crippled sister Nellie alone in the world, without a relation to whom we could look on for help. I was a farmer's boy, not earning enough to keep myself, much less both of us, and she must have gone to the workhouse but for our mistress. Nellie calls her Angel, and she has a good right to do so. The mistress went and hired a room for her with the old widow mallet, and she gave her knitting and needlework when she was able to do it. And when she was ill, she sent her dinners and many nice, comfortable things, and was like a mother to her. Then the master took me into the stable under old Norman, the coachman that then was. I had my food at the house and my bed at the loft, and a suit of clothes and 3 shillings a week, so I could help Nellie. Norman might have turned around and said that at his age he could not be bothered with a raw boy from the plough trail, but he was like a father to me, and took no end of pains with me. When the old man died some years after, I stepped into his place, and now, of course, I have top wages and can lay by for a rainy day, or a sunny day as it may happen, and Nellie is as happy as a bird. So you see, James, I am not the man that should turn up his nose at a little boy and vex a good, kind master. No, no. I shall miss you very much, James, but we shall pull through. There's nothing like doing a kindness when 'tis put in your way, and I'm glad I can do it. Then, said James, you don't hold with that saying everybody look after himself and take care of number 1. No, indeed, said John. Where would Nellie and I have been if master and mistress and old Norman had only taken care of number 1? Why, she was in the workhouse and I hoeing turnip. But where would Black Beauty and Ginger have been if you had only thought of number 1? Why, roasted to death. No, Jim, no. That is a selfish, heathenish thing to say, whoever may use it, and any man who thinks he has nothing to do but take care of number 1, why, it's a pity. But what had he been drowned like a puppy or a kitten before he got his eyes open? "That's what I think," said John, with a very decided jerk of his head. James laughed at this, but there was a thickness to his voice when he said, "You have been my best friend except my mother. I hope you won't forget me." The next day, Joe came to the stable to learn all he could before James left. He learnt to sweep the stable, to bring in the straw and the hay, and begin to clean the harness and help wash the carriage. As he was quite too short to do anything in the way of grooming Ginger and me, James taught him upon Merrylegs, for under John he was to have full charge of the pony. He was a nice, light fellow and always came whistling in his work. Merrylegs was a good deal put out at being mauled about, as he said, by a boy who knew nothing, but towards the end of the second week he told me confidently that he thought the boy would turn out well. At last the day came when James had to leave us. Cheerful as he always was, he looked quite downhearted that morning. "You see," he said to John, "I am leaving a great deal behind. My mother and Betsy and you, a good master and mistress, and the horses, and my old Merrylegs."